We are going to go in three, two, and one. Well, I am back from our weather conference. Sean is not here with us today, but our very own Kirsten Lang is here. I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci for this edition of Snow Search. I don't know what happened, Kirsten. When I went to the weather conference, I was next to Sean, and now you're here next to me on the screen.
I know. Well, poor Sean sounds like he's still recovering, got a little bug or something there.
Uh,
So you
yeah.
guys, you're just hanging out, having too much fun and ran yourself sick, unfortunately. But I'm
Uh,
glad to be here. We hope that Sean gets better quickly, but I'm glad to be here this week.
Yes, yeah, we're happy to have you here. First time on Snow Search. We do hope Sean gets better soon. Him and I were both sick after the weather conference. I'm getting close to normal, but Sean's still not feeling that well. So I do hope by next week he'll be back with us here. So let's talk about Snow Search. We do have one big thing to talk about next week in the snow and cold world. We'll get to that. But Snow Search, for everyone just tuning in for the first time, it's our look at snow and cold threats for next week. So the week of February 12th. Super Bowl week, Valentine's Day week, whatever you want to call it here. It's broad forecast for individual storms. We're not doing the hey, is it going to snow at my house at this time? We're just too far away for that. And new episodes come out every Wednesday as we go from New York all the way down to North Carolina. So, Kirsten, I have a question for you. Has it ever snowed on Valentine's Day for you?
Not since I've lived. So I live in Tulsa, for those who don't know, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And not since I've lived here have we had snow. And you have to know, I mean, Tulsa, Oklahoma, like you kind of get maybe, two or three good snowstorms a season. And when I say that, I mean a couple of inches. So, you really got to be playing your card right for it to land on Valentine's Day.
Right, I got you. Yeah, snow usually is hard to come by on Valentine's Day unless you're far north. And take us through the numbers that we have here, Kirsten.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, when you look at the map, it makes sense. Buffalo with some of the lake effect snow too. 48% chance for snowfall on Valentine's Day on the day, right? And then Atlantic City Airport, a little. That's probably the next closest at 15%. Then you just start going down kind of in numbers. Roanoke's at 9.
Okay.
Charlottesville 7%, and then 4% down towards Greensboro. So, it's kind of like it is for Christmas. I think you just really, like I said, you just really have to be timing it just right to be getting that snow on the ground on Valentine's Day.
Right. Snow is like love. Sometimes you have to find the right moment.
There you go.
Anyway, let's take a look at our indexes here as we go into next week. We'll start the North Atlantic Oscillation. It made its drop from positive to neutral territory. We talked about this last week. Really, right now, and as we go into next week, we look to be in this neutral state. So, really, little influence. We can't really tell you too much based on that alone. We go to the Arctic Oscillation, which was in free fall from 2 weeks ago, and it continues to dive south. So, this shows the potential for cold and storminess as we go into next week and really throughout the rest of February as well. And then we look at the Pacific North Atlantic Index here, North American, I should say, excuse me. And, it's still staying about neutral, maybe a little positive, and positive typically will yield some northeast snow and cold chances. But overall, I think the signal from this is a slight lean towards some cold and snow. As we look at the next map, you'll see what we're talking about here, Kirsten. Show us what's happening in these mile high temperature maps. So what you're looking at is temperatures about 5,000 or so feet high. And this can kind of drive the weather pattern for us.
Yeah, and so the weather pattern that we're watching is, low pressure system that's just going to kind of trek right along up towards the coastline there. And as you head towards February 13th to 14th, it'll be almost centered kind of over, I should say just to the east, really, of Jersey then at that point. And then moving off the coast, maybe clipping, Maine, then as it pushes off towards the east. But what you want to watch for back behind that, too, is some of that really cold air that'll filter in. You could be seeing some snow from that also, but again, too, that cold air starts to kind of seep back behind it. And as you head towards February 16th and February 17th, you get some cold Arctic air that could potentially start making its way in towards the Dakotas. So that may be really the next kind of blast that we get as far as those cold temperatures go. And we haven't really seen much of that lately. It's been very warm. So, for those looking for temps to, kind of level themselves out and for us to get back kind of quote unquote closer to normal, this will help with that.
Yeah, exactly. And we will keep you updated on those Barney purples you see there in the Dakotas in next week's snow surge. So this is what we can expect on this February 13th, 14th storm here. It does look like upstate New York, probably a plowable snow for you here. If you go all the way up towards Canada, it might not even be all that heavy. It might be too far away from the storm. But you see most of Pennsylvania in that plowable snow. But once you get towards Carlisle and into where I am here in Jersey, rain, snow mix, probably more rain than snow. But at least entertaining the idea of snow in New Jersey. Once you go into the mountains and the Appalachians in Virginia here, again, some kind of mixing or ice with that. And then Richmond, Winston-Salem, Hickory, most of North Carolina, most of Virginia, and a good portion of Delmarva, it's plain rain. And I also just want to mention, too, your cities like D.C. and Baltimore, Philadelphia, probably going to be more rain than snow with this. But, check your favorite local news websites. We'll have more details for you on this system as we get closer here. So let's take a look at our snow surge notes for the week of February 12th. We have that winter storm for some of us, February 13th to the 14th. Rain south, mixing along and just northwest of the I-95 corridor, and then snow in upstate New York and in northern Pennsylvania. We do have, after the storm chilly air, the cold air will follow this, and then a few snow showers actually could also pass in the northeast on February 15th as a cold front passes through the region here. So, Kirsten, it is your first time. We have to do what we do every episode. We have to end with the one thing you're searching for, weather or otherwise. What do you have for our audience today?
I'm going to tell you, I had a couple days of PTO. I went, visited my best friend down in Houston, and she was making me, and this is not weather related, all right? So we're going to go with the otherwise category.
Fine.
She was making me these awesome dinners at night, and most of them were soups. And so I'm kind of in this like soup craze, right? And I know usually when you kind of get in this colder weather, you start like wanting soup a little bit more, and it's been kind of mild, but I've been searching for like really good soup recipes. So that's what I've been doing.
How about like a minestrone soup? You like minestrone soup?
Minestrone is pretty good. Yeah, that's on the list. But right now there's one, it's like it's more like a, kind of noodle soup, kind of like a pho. I mean, it's good. So I'm planning on making that sometime this week.
All right, good. Well, soup's always good, especially in February. Yeah. All right, so I'm searching for a full serve gas station because let me tell you what happened last week when I was coming back from AMS. I made a mistake. I was on the turnpike and I was like in New Jersey and I was like, oh, let me get gas. I'm going to make sure I got, get someone fill up my gas for me. I can go down to Maryland, come back, no problem. Well, I made a mistake. I passed that gas station. I thought there was another one. There wasn't. So for the first time in my life, I actually pumped my own gas with nobody else in the car. It was just me. It was just me, myself, and I. So I was on my own. I have to say I crushed it. I got it right to $31. It was perfect, even at a little, 2 pumps at the end to get it up there. But, I'm good with my full serve gas from now on. But it was a good experience to, do it on your own. Sometimes you got to pull up your big boy pants and just do it,
Joe, I'm proud because as long as I've known you for the past 2.5 years, this is a monumental kind of moment.
Yeah.
Like we talk about gas, gasoline and pumping your own gas. And for, a boy from Jersey, you just don't do it at all. So
No.
Listen. I'm proud of you.
Thank
Good job, Joe. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have no more hurdles to climb at this point. I mean, I did all the steps. Now I'm a full-fledged gas pumper here from New Jersey. So anyway, we are going to wrap it up. We'll be back with you guys next Wednesday for another episode of Snow Search. We are hopeful that Sean will be back with us here, but we do appreciate Kirsten's time to hop on for Snow Search. You can check out more weather information on your favorite local news website. And remember, check out our Across the Sky podcast. New episodes come out every Monday. This past Monday, we had an episode recapping our time at the American Meteorological Society's Big Weather Conference in Baltimore. Sean and I did that. We'll have a new episode for you next Monday as well.